Jai Hind. Here is lateral section of spinal cord. So LS means lateral section of spinal cord. So this is the spinal cord, a small part of spinal cord. So you see, this is spinal cord. In between there is hollow part with the shape I. Next is there is pi meter, pi meter, and near it arachnoid, and over it durameter. So spinal cord has three parts: pyometer, arachnoids, durameter. Outer part is durameter, and there is two more parts. Next is there is space, and this space is called epidural space. This is epidural space, and there is some parts, and every part are separated, and these each part is called vertebrae. These each part is called vertebrae, and between the hollow part of spinal cord there is the spinal nerve. There is spinal nerve. Every vertebrae is linked with spinal nerve. So these are between two vertebrae there is intervertebral disc. Between two intervertebral disc is there is between two vertebrae. So this bluish part is called intervertebral disc. Now vertebra. These each part is called vertebra. So we denoted with C1 and cervical, C for cervical, and there is the medulla and this long spinal cord. At bottom there is conus medullaris. So this is lumbar, L4, L1 lumbar. Then there is L3, L4, L4 level of lumbar puncture. This is the level of lumbar puncture, and there is dural sheet, and below it there is S2 and phylum terminal. There is phylum terminal, and last tail of the spinal cord is called coccyx. Coccyx is tail of the spinal cord. So there is medulla. Start from medulla. This is each part is called vertebral column. Outer part is called durameter. Second inside from outer is called arachnoid. Third from outer is called pyometer. Between first and second there is hollow space. This is called subdural space. Between second and third there is hollow space. This is called subarachnoid space. And there is between skin and spinal cord, this space is called epidural space. This space is called epidural space. And between fourth and third there is a space. This is called cauda equina or horsetail. This is called cauda equina or horsetail. And this part is called phylum terminal. And these are spinal nerves originated from vertebrae. So these are spinal nerves, and between there is some gap. So from this gap the spinal nerves originated. So this is also work as a brain in reflex action, because we need reflex action very fast. So spinal cord act as small brain, and our main brain works later. There is TS of spinal cord. TS means transverse section. spinal cord's transverse section. So you see butterfly like shape in the middle of the spinal nerve, and there is hole between the middle. This is called central canal or neurocoil. Neurocoil. This is called central canal or neurocoil. And spinal cords, this space is called anterior median fissure. Anterior median fissure. And out this central part is posterior horn. This is posterior horn, and this is lateral horn, and this is anterior horn. And all three, posterior horn, lateral horn and anterior horn, forms gray matter. Because it is in gray color, so it forms gray color. Gray matter forms by posterior horn, lateral horn and anterior horn. And these nerves are started here and collected here. So these are ventral root, and it forms spinal nerve. It forms spinal nerve. And there is dorsal root ganglion. This root-like structure is called dorsal root ganglion. And these are dorsal root. This is ventral root. So dorsal means behind. Ventral means front. Now this is white matter, or it is also called funiculus. White matter or funiculus. This white matter or funicular. So all is white matter or funicular. This is posterior median sulcus. This is posterior median sulcus. This line type is posterior median sulcus. So this is the lateral section of spinal cord. I hope you have enjoyed. Okay.